What up, what up? It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios. App like you got some sense. Smash the like and subscribe button. We like it when you do that here. Also, you can see the social media platforms that we are on at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you like, follow us, and subscribe on all of those platforms. We appreciate it. And if you want to fund the madness directly, you can go ahead and hit us up on the Cash App. $Burn Dollars. That's DOLLAZ. Again, that's $Burn Dollars. DOLLAZ. Coming to you live on a wet, soggy, cold morning here in the Midwest. Got a couple of stories to cover today. We got LeBron James and the current dilemma that the Los Angeles Lakers find themselves in. We have Saquon Barkley and the ongoing saga with the New York Giants. And we have Pat McAfee versus ESPN. Again, these stories will be covered by us and the publications that we got them from. So we'll start with the latter first, and we'll go with All That Glitters Isn't Gold. Which is ESPN trying to destroy the Pat McAfee show? The answer is undeniably, I have no clue. But it is worth the discussion. And we'll get into that after a quick 20-second break from another unofficial sponsor. Yeah, Taco Bell, Live Moz. Try the $5 Cravings box. Cheesy burritos, gorditas. I'm sure they're all delightful. Visit your local folks down at the Taco Bell. Download the app or order online. Taco Bell, Live Moz. Okay, so back to the story. Pat McAfee accuses the executive producer of trying to sabotage the Pat McAfee show, saying Norby Williamson is up to no good. And here's the truth about sports media. It's not 24/7. When you create the rat race, you start to make things up and invent headlines to talk about. Insert ESPN. They've done this for years. But McAfee, he doesn't name names. He just says somebody's trying to destroy us from within. And this is fresh off the heels of the Aaron Rodgers accusing Jimmy Kimmel of being Epstein's flying buddy. I don't know. I'm not touching that one. What the hell, dude? I'm not going there. Not at all. I don't even know why that would even be a topic of discussion, as awful as that situation is. However, McAfee accuses Williams of leaking negative rating information. Now, it's not clear what McAfee is talking about because he doesn't expand on anything, which you can't say, hey, they are telling stories and giving you false information and bad news, but you don't provide any examples. I mean, what's the lie? Provide your counter argument that's pretty much going against their evidence, and then you let the viewers decide. I mean, that's just how that is. You know, to drop names and say, I'm not 100% sure it's him, then why say it at all? If you're not sure that it's your producer, because that's who Norby Williamson is. He's the producer of the Pat McAfee show on ESPN. But then you say he's the enemy within, or somebody's the enemy within. You drop his name, and then you say, I'm not 100% sure. Then why even bring this up? Why even bring this up? And this is, this is everything that's going to create a hostile work environment for sure. Somebody accuses you with no proof, and then you think that this is going to be swept under the rug. And all of this broke yesterday. Saying he's the only human with information. It's wrong. And then it sets a narrative about what our show is. Now, regretfully, I haven't watched the Pat McAfee show ever. Again, I say that regretfully because it would give me a chance to sit down and intake his program. Like I said, I have a couple of people that's very close to me in my orbit that tell me that they loved his show when it was independent, and now that he's on ESPN, They feel like it's lost a little bit of flair and a little bit of step and touch. Like, again, I can't say either one way or the other. So I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have an axe to grind. I'm pretty much just a person asking questions. And this situation seems to be a little bit like you're creating a situation. If you and Norby Williams have beef, then let that be said. Don't get into this thing where you accuse him publicly, but you don't have proof. And then you say that you're not 100% sure, but he's giving out bad numbers about the ratings, trying to sway viewers in one direction or the other. It seems to be getting confused along the lines of, hey, look, me and this guy, we just don't get along. I mean, that's a fair statement. But to say that he's actively trying to sabotage your show, but you don't have any proof, yeah, this just seems to be like a nothing burger. And we'll get into more details when we come back from another unofficial break from another unofficial sponsor. All right, White Castles. Visit your local White Castles and the good people down there. Download the app, order online. Order the $20 crave case. Well, no, they don't have a $20 crave case. They just got a suitcase full of hamburgers. I'm sure they're delightful either way. White Castles. Yeah, it's a good time at the White Castles. The WC Lounge, White Castles. All right. So these stories were carefully written. It doesn't matter where I went. It may be the Atlantic or maybe Hollywood, Vanity Fair, where I got these stories. However, they were written so carefully, it was almost like I was reading for no reason. And that rarely happens to me. I don't like when I'm just reading anything and you can't make comprehension one way or the other because you're not going far enough or you're trying to be so benign and sit on the fence that you don't want to hurt anybody or you don't want to offend anybody to damage your access. So you just stay right in the middle when somebody is definitely right and somebody is definitely wrong. But back to the story. It says more people, and this is McAfee, by the way. He says more people are watching the show than ever before, but then he won't give you a number. So again, ESPN is one of the biggest platforms in this country, and ESPN is going to have a bigger range net to reach people. That much is undisputable. So again, I don't know what the numbers were when he was independent doing his thing on YouTube, but ESPN is a bigger platform. So that's undeniable. McAfee and Williamson, they need to have a fight. They need to go ahead and get a fight, get a beer, and just let bygones be bygones. You know, because you got different factors are running to the media, and they're saying anything. So that's how you get leaks. And if you feel like this guy is intentionally trying to go ahead and sabotage the show, you're going to get in front of a microphone or you're going to have a comment to somebody. And in this day and age, everybody is a reporter. Everybody has a microphone. Everybody has their phone out, camera phone, and then they're recording you and everything you say. And you may just be talking to somebody in passing. However, these people are like, no, it's news. Let me go ahead and put it on YouTube. Or let me put it on my Facebook feed for the world to see. So you always want to be conscious of where you're at, who you're around, and what you're saying. Now, Pat, the reason that this situation all became about was back in 2018. Norby Williamson no-showed Pat McAfee when they bought him into the ESPN offices. He stood the guy up. He never came to meet the guy and had the guy sit there in his office and wait. That is a total douchebag move. At least be professional enough to give somebody a phone call, let them know, hey, look, I can't make it. Is there any way we can reschedule? I'll have my people get in contact with your people, and then we can circle back on this issue. The fact that you didn't even give this dude a phone call shows that you didn't have any respect for him as an individual. Now, that's just common business courtesy. That you need to return phone calls and you need to be where you say you're going to be so people can actually trust what you're saying. And I don't know why ESPN, if they didn't know, they should have known. And if Pat McAfee struck this deal when he did, and they told him, hey, look, Norby Williams is going to be your producer. Pat McAfee's like, no, we got history. This dude, he went ahead and ghosted me in an interview back in 2018. Why would you make him the producer of a show? So that much goes into the suspicion column. And you have to go ahead and say, hey, look, Pat McAfee has a point. He's not just arbitrarily saying things. And if there's bad blood behind this situation with Pat McAfee and Norby Williamson, then just let that be it. Try and get another producer in there, because you don't want to make people unhappy where they work at, especially with ESPN. They just had a round of layoffs, letting some talent go. And again, admittingly, I don't watch ESPN. I haven't watched ESPN since 2013. I'm not interested in their programming. I go out of my way not to watch ESPN. But that's just me. So, yeah, it's more word salad and more stew. ESPN finally ponied up and you got numbers. Now, the way that the article released those numbers, the article gave you the numbers at the very end. But then something else happened. Something else happened when they gave you those numbers. Because ESPN, they say the show had 298 million views across all of the platforms. That's ESPN Plus, that's ESPNU, that's regular ESPN, and anywhere that they could go ahead and put him around bookend programming. So, with 298 million views, is that a good number? And we will never know, because Pat McAfee doesn't come out and dispute that number. Now, I don't know if it's like YouTube. Is it the total rate of watched videos? Is it click through? I don't know. And again, that's what makes this story so bizarre. If you want to get something off your chest because you and a producer have long time beef or some heat, that's one thing. But to say he's trying to sabotage a show for leaking bad numbers, but you never come out and say what the numbers are. ESPN drops their numbers. You don't drop anything to dispute what ESPN is saying. So again, number one, we don't know what a good number is from a bad number. Number two, Pat McAfee doesn't come out and say what the number really is. Number three, ESPN releases a number, but Norby Williams didn't release a number. So if you say he's the only person, only human with the numbers, and then they drop these numbers, but you don't come back and fire back and say, hey, look, that's not the right number. What is someone to believe? Again, that's why I said I don't know. And I don't know where to come down on the side of, hey, look, Pat's got a point. So, like I said, we'll just see going forward. As always, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Big Vern, and I'll be back.